Hi, everybody. I'm Mel Dorr, the Aloha Shirt psychic from Chicago. And I've got Kevin Chandler in the house. Hi, Kevin.
And hi, Mel. Hello, everyone. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
Happy holidays, Kevin. Happy New Year. It's been a while. I missed you.
Yeah, I had some bad luck on Christmas Day.
I heard you were giving swimming lessons in your basement.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It was mostly my office area. Um, my desk and computer were both kind of trashed and just some of the supplies. But luckily, I think we caught it pretty quickly after I had a pipe burst that froze from that winter storm around Christmas. And Um, so it was pretty much contained into my office space, luckily. So I think we caught it pretty quickly. Then 2 days later, my sprinkler system froze and burst outside, but I actually heard when that happened. So I was able to shut my water off and get that stopped. But yeah,
Um, yeah, when you told me that, I remember when I had a flood in my basement, and one time my faucet up in the bathroom, it's just right in the next room,
yeah,
it turned itself on because it was one of those old-fashioned ones. I don't know what happened to it. And it was going so fast, full force at the sink, that little hole in the sink couldn't
it backed up over
correct
it.
the
Mhm.
relief drain
Yeah,
or whatever. And when I got home, I came in downstairs and I saw water in the hallway, and I'm thinking, did the dog go on the floor? And I looked up and I saw the globe for the light, and it was full of water. I'm like, oh God. And it was leaking
yeah,
to the ceiling. I'm like, I came up here, the carpets were all wet. Oh, it was a nightmare.
yeah. Well, and a lot of people around me had water issues. I'm still waiting for somebody to come out and assess the damage. Um, they're just really backed up. I know a couple people that had their basement flooded from that storm. I'm thinking I got my carpet cleaned up enough. I think the padding underneath will need replaced. I'm just praying that like drywall and insulation doesn't need to be replaced as well.
Probably not. I mean, drywall, if you put fans on it and stuff like that,
Yeah,
it'll dry out really well. It won't mold. Otherwise, it will mold. So,
yeah.
you know,
I've had fans
I had a
running.
flood in my basement. It was like we had a horrible storm here. This is about 10 or 15 years ago,
Hmm.
and all the power went out. Well, the sewer drains weren't big enough to handle all the water, so the sump pumps kept pumping, but they couldn't keep up with it all, and they burned
Yeah,
out. So I was outside the next day, and trees were down everywhere. My neighbor said, "You better check your basement. We got water in ours." And all the other neighbors were saying they did too. And I thought, well, I was down there at 2 this morning and nothing was down there. So I
hmm,
said, let me go check. And I went downstairs. I had carpet. And when I stepped, my feet like squish,
yeah,
water just came out. And then as I walked on, there was about that much water. And I'm like, oh, no. So I went back as much up as I could. It
right.
was futile. But luckily, I didn't have to have the drywall replaced because they ripped all that out, and they put big fans and all of that. And they call it restoration, but it was more like destruction crew.
Yeah.
So, but I think
And that always goes to say too to follow your intuition, because I always keep my computer on my table. But it was Christmas Eve. I was wrapping my niece's Christmas present, so I moved it over to my desk, and that little voice in the back of my head was telling me, "Move your computer back." And I was tired. I was like, "No, it'll be fine. I'm gonna go to bed." But and it's trash now. So
it's the worst feeling in the world because there's
yeah,
nothing.
and then especially after you have that feeling and you didn't do anything about it.
I know. Yeah.
What can you do?
Okay, Kevin, if they want to get a hold of you, they can call 440-376-4088.
Yeah,
Again, that's 440-376-4088. You can see that in the comment section below.
yeah.
Or Kevin Loving Vibrations with an S at gmail.com. That's Kevin Loving Vibrations at gmail.com. So
Thanks, Mel.
you got it. And you call Kevin up. He's really good at what he does.
Yeah,
So
you can call or text.
call
I
her.
am getting things kind of situated. I do Reiki healing as well, which is a little bit easier because I'm in my Reiki studio at the moment. But I can figure out readings too with my phone.
And there's one thing I do want to say, if you don't mind, Kevin. Kevin,
Oh yeah.
you called something to my attention, and thank you. When we do this, we do it because we want to help people,
Mm.
and we all have our little quirks. I have a nervous giggle, and it's just who I am. I've worked on it, and sometimes it comes to the surface.
Yeah.
I'm not apologizing for it. And I don't mind, and none of us mind positive suggestions. I don't like the word criticism because to me that's negative.
Yeah.
If you have a positive suggestion or something you can say to help, it's greatly appreciated. But when you come up with something that's just rude and nasty, that's not a positive criticism. It's
Hmm.
mean and nasty.
Yeah.
So when you make comments to us, please keep them positive, even if it's something that you feel if I give a wrong fact, it's okay to call that out
Hmm.
in a positive way.
Yeah.
I got a comment from someone in the community board section where people are asked to, allowed to ask questions. And she said, I enjoy you, not your constant irritating laugh, she says.
Mm.
If you don't take this as a constructive criticism, you missed the point. Yeah, I did miss the point because that was rude.
Yeah.
She said, it is meant to be helpful, not hurtful. I hope you take it that way. I took it to be hurtful and rude.
Yeah.
And furthermore, the way to contact me is always listed on the top when I post the community board. If you wanted to say something like that, you could have emailed me, but to put it public is hurtful.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I've blocked you from my channel. And if somebody is going to be negative like that, they will get blocked from my channel.
Yeah. I agree.
And I'm just simply saying, if you're gonna, how would this person like it if I said, I don't like the hair color you have or those ugly glasses you're wearing? You know, I, and I'm not saying that to that person, but
Mm.
that was mean, what I
Yeah.
just said. And
Well,
there's,
and it's not as if that's who you are. So it's not as if you be you and be your true authentic self. And if that's something that irritates somebody, then don't watch.
correct. And we all have our quirks.
Yes.
All right. And mine is my nervous giggle. Okay. But you never poke fun or you make a comment like that because someone might have a disability and it might be part of that disability.
Mm.
It's part of my ADD. So, Lita, before you make comments like that, I suggest that you think about what you're saying.
Mm.
Anyway, uh, and in the future, for all of you, we appreciate your loving support and
Mm.
your comments are always so kind and nice. And, as I said, we don't mind positive suggestions, but when things get nasty like that, not tolerable. So,
I agree. And it's like 99.9% of our community is just so supportive and positive. But every now and then you get like that 0.1% that has something nasty to say about you or a guest reader. And I feel the exact same way. I don't tolerate that kind of energy on my channel.
so
So
from this point
you
on,
get blocked
right.
if you put that negativity out there.
So from that point on, this person never has to hear my irritating laugh again. Just don't
There you
watch.
go.
It's very
Yeah.
simple. Anyway, all right. I wanted to get that out of the way. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
everybody out there, the 99.99999% of everybody, you're so amazing and loving. And people have put in the comment section positive suggestions, or if I
Hmm.
misquote a fact, and I don't mind that, but not something mean, your constant irritating laugh.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like,
I would
how about if I do my Wicked Witch of the West? How's that? That's really
do it,
irritating.
Mel.
Get you, my pretty, you and your little dog too. How was that for irritating?
Right.
It's like fingers going out on blackboard.
Mm.
Okay, I'm done. That's out of my chest.
Okay. We got some questions, a lot of big stuff going on today.
Passive aggressive done.
You're good.
I don't think that was passive aggressive. I think it was pretty
No.
straightforward. Okay, first of all, Kevin, I have to say to you, you have been saying this for so long, and you
Yeah.
are absolutely right on the money about the Republicans. You have said all along that after the midterms, you felt that the Republican Party would be strongly divided
Yeah.
and that it would almost be against itself, if
It
you
would
will.
fracture.
It would fracture. Your exact
Mhm.
words were fracture. And that's exactly what's going on with this whole thing with Kevin
Mhm.
McCarthy.
Yeah, it's
Now,
crazy.
I just talked to Linda Grindle, by the way, because I called her because there's having those Armageddon rains in
Oh,
Northern
yeah.
California. And she is okay. She said it was really windy and the winds were strong, but she's okay. So thank goodness for that. But she informed me, we were talking about, the Speaker of the House, and I thought you had to be a member of the House to be voted in, but you don't. Anybody can be.
No.
I didn't know that,
Mhm.
according to, what we talked about.
Yeah, I think it's just a majority vote in the House.
So somebody nominated Trump, Matt Gaetz, but that's not gonna go anywhere.
No. Then
Um,
he's nominated him a couple times today, and well, no, he cast his vote for him. He did nominate him, I think, the last one that failed for McCarthy, and he only got 1 vote, so, Trump was at Mar-a-Lago upset about that.
well, Trump wants McCarthy to be Speaker of the House, because if McCarthy is Speaker of the House, then behind the scenes, Trump is Speaker of the House.
Yeah,
Because we both know that, everybody should know, at least in my psychic opinion, that McCarthy is in Trump's hip pocket. So,
yeah.
um, they're gonna, it's a smaller fraction, and they don't care about their constituents. They don't care about the country. They're doing this to be obstructionist.
Mm.
And, it's almost like them saying, ha, 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 look what we're doing. But they will not win.
I agree, and you know what, too? I kind of feel like something that they've planned to do,
They
I
did plan
mean,
to do it. They totally
imagine
planned to
how
do it.
our adversaries are viewing us right now and how weak we must look and how weak our democracy looks.
It
I think
was
it's all part of that kind of plan to just make us look really foolish.
it was totally planned.
Mhm.
Isn't it crazy that the Democrats has more vote in the House than the
Yeah.
Republicans do? Jeffries, I don't think he'll ever get any Republicans voting for him, but I think this is going to go on for quite a while.
Yeah, me too.
I just, and that those obstructionist few, they don't care about the debt ceiling. They will let our credit lapse, and it's going to hurt everybody, because then they can say, okay, you see what's
Mhm.
going on, and then they can blame the Democrats.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty scary too if, they can't even elect their own speaker, somebody from their own party. W What's going to get done? Nothing's going to get done. They're just gonna be total obstructionists.
Well, it's not going to look good. And
Not
there's
gonna last for
a
very
lot of
long.
psychics in the community said that they didn't see um, Kevin McCarthy being speaker.
Mhm.
So,
You know what? I'll just say on that real quick. Right after the midterm election, I think it was the next week after when I did my live show, I did have somebody ask if the Congress would be seated on January 3rd, and I
I
got a
don't
very strong no. And I was thinking maybe it was because of some of the January 6th stuff and indictments. I think that that's coming a little bit later. It was because of the speaker battle going on, and the speaker's always been a very murky to me. I still feel like it's up in the air a little bit. I would be very surprised if McCarthy um, got voted in, and if he does, I don't think he's going to be in there very long. I think
I've
they'll get
often
rid of
said if
him.
he was speaker, I don't see him in very long. But see, I wasn't aware of the procedural rules of
Mm,
the House and who could be speaker and who couldn't. I
yeah,
thought in order to be Speaker of the House, I thought, and I was wrong, that you had to be a member
remember.
of the House, you had to be a representative. And I thought that, the predominant party was the one who it had to be a part, one of they had to be a member of that party, but evidently
Mhm.
that's not true. Anybody can be speaker, I suppose.
Yeah, it's just a majority vote.
Yeah, that's what I found out. So I
I
learned.
feel like Republicans are going to actually have to go across aisles to the Democrats and get somebody that's a little bit more bipartisan, a more moderate Republican, and try to get Democrats to help them get them through. Because I would be very surprised if McCarthy got in.
Well, if one of the senators or something, or maybe a congressperson said that, you know, and he was a Republican, that he didn't think McCarthy would be speaker. He thought it would be more of a moderate conservative put in.
Mm,
Uh, and that, when he said that, my psychic light bulb went on. I said, yeah, But I
Mm.
find it amazing that Jeffries is getting more votes than McCarthy.
Yeah.
Um, that small minority will try this BS for a bit.
Mm.
But, I think you hit on something, and it's going to kind of force Republicans and Democrats to work together
Mhm.
to get a speaker they like,
Or to get anything done,
or
because
to get
these people
anything
are just
done.
obstructionists.
And so to the obstructionists, they'll get the middle finger.
Hmm.
Because that few, they don't care about the constituents. They don't care about the country. They just care about making their point and trying to get to power, but they're not going to.
Yeah. And like I said too, it's really going to cause a big fracture and a lot of infighting amongst the Republican Party, not just the people in Congress, but also the Republican voters, because you have all the MAGA people cheering on Lauren Boebert and Matt Gaetz right now for being obstructionists, and more moderate or conservative Republicans are upset that they're hijacking the House.
But the MAGA people are that small fraction.
Yeah, yeah.
And so to a degree, Trump is still kind of controlling it because they're for
Mm.
Trump. But they won't win. They're not going to win. I keep, my guides keep telling me that. I saw Michael Moore on TV tonight, and
Okay.
he said, he wasn't in the business of predicting. And he said something that rang true with me. He said that before 2024, he didn't think that the Republicans would be able to retain control of the House.
Before 2024 election?
That's correct.
Yeah, I've often felt that too, like there might be a change in power in the House.
Well, Santos is going to come down. I
Yep.
think right now McCarthy's not doing anything because he wants Santos' vote.
Yeah.
But I see another election being called in Santos, and I see him being extradited to Brazil or
Brazil, yep.
wherever he created those crimes.
Yeah.
So, and he's an
He's in some
insult
trouble.
he's an insult to the gay community, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, I didn't know he was gay, but I kind of psychically felt he was, but I didn't know he was publicly
Oh
out.
yeah, he's got his ruby slippers on today.
Uh,
There's my nervous giggle again. Every time I do, I'm going to say it just for grins and giggles. Ha. Okay. Sue Toffee. Thank you, Sue. What does Nancy Pelosi think about all the McCarthy voting shenanigans? Did Dems really sit there with their popcorn too? Happy 2023. I don't know if they sit there with their popcorn, but it's predictable with the Trumplicans.
yeah.
I don't
You
know
know,
if is it MAGA or I don't know how to pronounce it. MAGA, how do you pronounce it? Mega,
MAGA,
whatever.
yeah, whatever.
BS.
Right.
MAGA.
I feel like some of the Democrats are enjoying the show and seeing the Republican Party fight amongst themselves. And I don't think it was totally unexpected. But I think Nancy Pelosi, her energy comes across as much more serious. Like, I think that she thinks this is a huge national security threat. And also, I think it's just the embarrassment to the institution and our democracy that she's upset with. Her tone feels more sober to me. I do think that some Democrats are getting a bit of a kick out of it.
I'm getting a little bit of a kick out of it, but if we default on our, by like letting the government shut down and not paying our bills, and it's not going to be so funny because that's going to
No.
affect the stock market, and the stock market is going to take a hit, and it's going to
Well,
start.
we don't have a functioning government right now because nobody's sworn in. Nobody's in charge of committee things. So let's say something horrible happens, and I'm not saying I see that, but say something horrible happens in the country, they're really kind of powerless at the moment because they don't have a functioning government with the House not being
Well, it is a
sworn in.
threat to national security for
Yeah,
that exact reason. So I don't know. It's going to go on for quite a while,
I think so too.
but I think a
I
lot
think
of
at least
people,
a couple, at least a week or two, a couple weeks.
I think you're right. Okay. So Terry Dougherty said the market has started off the year rather shaky. How do you see it performing this year? Well, if they get their head together and elect a speaker, then I think the stock market's not going to take a dip. If they don't, it's going to take a huge hit, but it will rally. So
I feel it being a little rough in the winter months and maybe beginning of spring, but I do feel like things feel better as we get into summer and fall.
Okay. Beth Abramson asked, hello, Mel and Kevin. I keep wondering when Matt Gates from Florida will see the inside of a prison cell. I still think he's going to be indicted. That has not changed.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
see
know.
him going to jail,
So do
but
I.
it will take some time. It will probably be sometime next year.
I see the number 2, so it could be 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, could be
Years
February
maybe,
next,
yeah.
but it will happen. Libra Lady asks or says, I love you both. Thank you, Libra Lady. LL, Libra Lady. Will someone other than McCarthy be voted in as speaker? You know, Kevin, you touched on something because people would say, were asking if he would be voted in a speaker on a certain date. And I'm like, I didn't necessarily feel it,
Yeah,
but I said, if he is speaker, it won't be long. So,
I think if they voted, I think he still has a very small chance, but I I would be kind of surprised if he was voted in. Like I said, I've had the hardest time really picturing it because I think there's a lot of things at play and it hasn't necessarily been decided. I think we all have free will, so tapping into the energy is very kind of murky. I do think it will be a male energy though. I'm not feeling a female. Um, and I feel like if it's him or um, I'm not really feeling Steve Scalise, which they're talking about. I'm not feeling Jim Jordan.
I'm not
Um,
feeling Jordan at all. That's frightening.
yeah, I don't. I think it's going to be very hard. I think that Republicans are going to have to talk to Democrats to get somebody more bipartisan, somebody that's more moderate Republican.
See, all I can tell you is my guides show me that there would be Republicans and Democrats reaching across the aisle to work
Mm,
together.
yeah,
So,
and that's why I didn't feel like it was so scary that we just narrowly lost the House. I felt like we were still going to be able to get some things passed.
well, I believe in what Michael Moore said.
Yeah,
And I also think that if McCarthy's voted in, he's not going to be in long. I think people are afraid of him. He's too much he's too much up Trump's rear end.
he's giving up all of his power too to appease these Freedom Caucus people, like where they can vote with one person to try to remove him from the speaker. So it's really he really is going in with nothing. He's not going to have any power, and it would be very easy to remove him as speaker. And I
Well,
think if he did actually get in, I think he would be removed
he
very
would be.
shortly
That's my
afterwards.
whole point. If he becomes
Yeah,
speaker, he's not going to be speaker long. Because I see somebody else.
yeah,
You know, I don't like Scalise, but he'd be better than McCarthy.
yeah. I don't know a whole lot better, but yeah,
Well, he's not in
it's
Trump's
better
party.
than Jim Jordan for sure.
Oh, it's much better than Jim Jordan.
Yeah,
Okay. Pat Lee. I like this. Hello, handsome men. Pat, the say
thank
that I was
you.
the first to go, honey. Maybe Kevin is, but look at me. Okay. Um, she says, no questions, just sending love and gratitude for all you do for us.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you.
It's so sweet. Thank you.
Very sweet.
Okay. I don't know. 129 Oli or 1290 129 OLI.
Mm.
Okay. Question 1. Will the Northeast experience a scorching summer due to a mild winter? Well,
I don't think it's going to be mild.
no, it won't be.
No, it's just started, and I think the Northeast did get some of the storm, but I definitely feel it being a very, very cold winter. Um, Brutal summer. I feel like it's going to be hot this summer.
I agree. I think I think they're going to have a lot of rain and a lot of inclement
Mm,
weather that way, a lot of huge storms.
yeah.
Okay. Question 2, even after COVID becomes endemic, it already is endemic. um, how much will society have changed? Well, I think, not a lot. I mean, we're just going to be more cognizant
Mm,
of spreading germs and viruses. I think the thing I think they'll keep in place is when you go to doctors' offices and hospitals, the
having
staff
math.
still wear masks,
Yeah.
which makes sense.
And I think where you live in the United States too, it kind of varies because I do think that more progressive liberal states, you're going to see a lot of people wearing masks. See, I live in Ohio. Nobody wears masks hardly ever unless you're going to the doctor's office or dentist.
Right. Well, healthcare professionals will
Yeah.
continue. Oh, if I'm moving around, it's because my back is bothering me. Okay. Teresa Adam. Biden is scheduled to visit Mexican border. What is he thinking as far as long-term plan for immigration? Well, I think he's thinking that the people that are down there, those, the people that were removed from the kids that were removed from their parents, trying to get them reunited. And
Okay.
I think, like most of us, what Abbott did, putting them all on many of them on a bus on a freezing winter night and
Yeah.
sitting them in front of Kamala Harris's or a block away, and then putting them off the bus. And many of them didn't even have warm clothing. That's just inhumane.
Yeah. That's disgusting.
So,
Using people as pawns for your political games. It's just,
so I think he's going there to show his disagreement for Abbott as well.
I think going in, and I don't feel like this is gonna, I feel like there might be some reforms with it this year, but I do feel like going into the future, I think the US is going to start giving a lot of money and supplies to a lot of these Central America countries to really get this cartel problem under control. And also putting money in to stop like the huge surge of refugees. I think we're going to make rules where it's a little bit easier to become a citizen. But, getting that area under control so it's not so many refugees are fleeing.
And I see a lot of the xenophobia ending.
Mm,
I heard this this thing the other day,
yeah.
and I guess it was true. I forgot where I read it, but there was a woman in a store, and she was talking to another woman, and some racist person said to her, if you're going to speak a foreign language, why don't you just go back to your own country? And the lady said, I'm speaking Navajo. This is my country. If
Mm.
you want to speak English, why don't you go back to England?
Oh, I'm sorry to just interrupt you, but I keep seeing orbs flying around you, Mel. And there was a really cool one that just flew up and around from your left side
You
to
guys
your
must
right.
be in full force tonight.
Yeah,
Somebody else told me that, like in a certain place,
I keep seeing them.
there were orbs flying around or something.
Mm.
I'm like, yay. Maybe my spirits are
Yeah,
maybe they like my laugh, you think?
I think they do like your laugh.
Thank you, spirit. Okay, Donna Cianciosi. I think that's the Italian pronunciation. Happy New Year, Mel and Kevin. My question is related to MH17. I think that was that plane that was shot down
Okay.
in 2014, I think.
Mm.
And it says, will the three men who were recently found guilty in absentia of shooting the plane down in 2014 ever serve any jail time for their crimes, or will Putin continue to protect them? Well, Putin's not going to be around long, and once he's gone,
Right.
they're going to end up going to jail.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just-
I agree with you. I don't think Putin's going to be in the picture for very much longer.
Sweetie Darling Lulu. I just love that name.
Mhm.
I always say that. I just love that name. Hello, gentlemen. Wondering if GOP voters have buyer's remorse now that they see what they got. Well, my guys are showing me that, the Trumplicans will be the Trumplicans.
Yeah.
MAGA will be MAGA, or MAGA, however you say it. But I'm sure that some of them were like, whoa, what's going on? And I think a lot of those voters are going to start expressing their concern and their complaints about what's going on in the House.
Yeah.
And they're not.
I think to a degree, though, I don't see a whole lot of Republicans being super outraged. Because I do think a good majority of the Republicans are part of the MAGA train. But yeah, there will be some. I feel like it affects more independent voters that lean a little bit more, or very moderate.
I think some of the Republicans, though, you're right. It's coming to fruition what you said. So.
Yeah.
And I think some are really mad about it. That
we'll see them flip on each other too. So.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Especially when the January 6th stuff comes out.
Yeah.
The DOJ. Okay. I think it's Zymir Nicholas. If I'm mispronouncing it, excuse me. Hello, Happy New Year to you both. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Will Santos finish out his 2-year term? My guides say no.
Yeah, I got no. As soon as you read it.
Uh, Patricia Epperson says, no question. Happy New Year to you both.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
All righty. Michelle Dewey. Hi, Mel and Kevin. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Michelle.
New
I'm
Year.
looking over because I'm reading these off my cell phone.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, this is a good one. Will Damar Hamlin of the Buffalo Bills be okay and able to fully recover from his cardiac arrest? Because he was that football player that got hit in the chest, and I didn't know what had happened. I saw him, take the tackle. And I thought, wow, he got hit really hard. I hope he's okay. And he stood up, and I was like, yes. And then he went down. I'm like, oh my God. And so I didn't follow up. I guess it put him into, I think it put him into ventricular fibrillation, which is really dangerous. They got to get your heart back into rhythm with that because you'll die.
Yeah.
So,
I hear he's doing, from what I've heard on the news, I hear that he's doing somewhat better, but I do think it's going to be a really long recovery. I don't know if he ever gets back to where he was beforehand.
I think
His
the doctor's
football
going to tell
career
him
might be
not to.
over. What?
I think the doctor is going to tell him not to. I mean, he got hit really hard in the chest. And
yeah, I feel like his football career might be over.
It's sad too, but
Yeah.
Thank God he's alive. And I do see a full recovery, but he's just not going to be able to take those kind of hits. I think that's why a lot of sports figures mysteriously die like that. At least it kind of sheds some light on what can happen.
Right.
Okay. Why not? Ask. Will any of the 20 reps opposing McCarthy for speaker be indicted for J6 involvement? Yes.
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 A good amount of them. And even some that support McCarthy will, because I feel Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's supporting McCarthy. Jim Jordan supporting McCarthy. I feel them in trouble. Boebert, Matt Gaetz. I'm sure there's a bunch of them in there.
Boebert, you mean Babies, Bibles, and Jesus?
Yes.
BBJ. Oh, there's that irritating life again. I'm sorry. Okay. Crazy Shark 22. Looks like many firms are forcing workers back into the office. Do you see this continuing, or will there be an eventual shift back to work from home? Well, my guides tell me that, a lot of these big companies had humongous office spaces before COVID happened, and then they sat empty. And it's like, what are we going to do with them? So I think, that's why they're having workers come back to the office. And they probably find that workers are more productive, many of them working from an office rather than at home. Not everybody, but I still think a lot of companies will keep it hybrid, like part-time at home and part-time at the office.
I agree 100% with that, because I was going to say, I don't feel like it's fully done. I feel like some companies are going to continue to offer work from remote work. But yeah, I agree. As things are kind of, well, I mean, COVID right now is kind of bad, at least in Ohio, but a lot of people are vaccinated, so people aren't getting quite as sick. So I definitely see them starting to revert back to working in the office, but some places will still allow work from home or hybrid work.
Dusty Rose said, Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Linnea Hood. Will all the rain happening with all the rain happening in California, will the drought be over?
No, not yet.
I think they'll still have drought, but it won't go on as long. The bad part is now when it rains, what do they get, like 9 or 10 inches or something of rain, which is crazy amount of rain.
Yeah, I'm really worried about this storm doing a lot of damage, but I feel like Northern California feels a little bit better than like Southern California. I feel like it's going to be a couple-year process of getting through this.
Okay. Ron Brock, hi Ron, asks, Happy New Year, Mel and Kevin. Hello, Happy New Year.
Yes.
Any hope of the mess in Congress being cleared up? Well, we talked about that. It's a big mess.
It's going to be a little while.
Do you think Putin will leave the scene soon, or at least Ukraine can go ahead and kick Russia out of their country? Well, my guides show me that the winter in Ukraine is going to be brutal. And
Mm,
because the Russian soldiers aren't that well equipped with food, clothing, this and that, it's going to be, oh, I mean, it's, it's reminiscent of when Hitler invaded the Soviet Union. For a while he was winning, but he didn't bank on the winter. And that helped lose the war for Hitler.
yeah,
And it's going to be the same with that Ukrainian winter. The Russian soldiers, they don't have the equipment to stay warm or the food or the clothing. And it's
right.
going to bite Putin. My guides tell me that.
I agree. And I've always said I don't feel Putin is in very good health, and I don't think he's going to be around too much longer.
And I keep seeing soldiers from Russia, soldiers from Belarus, soldiers from Chechnya and Georgia,
Mm,
all starting to go over to the Ukrainian side because all those countries, well, except for Lukashenko and Belarus, but Belarus, he's going to be overturned. But a lot of the people in those countries want to be separate. They don't want to be a part of Russia. They want their own.
mm,
They want to have their own statehood, their own nation, if you will, and they'll get it. My
yeah.
guy, um, and um, my sources that have family in Russia tell me that many of the Russian people are not liking Putin.
Oh yeah, that is for sure. And I do kind of feel like an uprising in Russia. Like their government does feel a lot better. It feels like it's more into next year. Like there's a bit of a transition period after Putin leaves, but things feel like they're better 2024, like spring 2024 is what I was just hearing.
And my guides also show me those countries that had helped Putin, like South Africa and
Mm,
a few other countries in Europe and stuff like that. There's going to be sanctions against those countries.
okay.
Um, okay. Sassy Sarah. Hi, Sassy Sarah. Love and light. Happy New Year and congratulations on your new subscribers. Thank you. And
Thank
everybody go to Kevin's channel and subscribe as well.
thank you so much. Kevin Loving Vibrations.
Kevin Loving Vibrations. All right.
Yes.
Thumbs up, everybody. All right. For Kevin.
And
All
for
right.
Mel,
There's that nervous giggle again.
you're fine.
Toots R-H R, I'm sorry, R-R-H-I-R. R-R, we're here. I like the name Toots.
Mm,
Hello, dear ones. Why don't um why don't we hear more in the news about investigation of the IRS's lack of reporting Trump's false tax returns? Oh, it's gonna come out in the news, I promise.
mm,
I think the DOJ is looking at certain officials in the IRS right now.
yeah, absolutely. And I've said too, when things were starting to wrap up with Letitia James in New York about his businesses in Trump org, I got a strong hit that the IRS is going to be coming next, and they can criminally charge.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh, our friend Deanne. Hi, Deanne.
idea.
Shield Maiden Tarot. Go to her channel. Give her a thumbs up.
Mm,
Okay, we got to have her on a collab soon.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Hi, Mel and Kevin. My question is, did Trump give Rudy a pardon? No, I don't see that.
No, I don't feel like he did too. They definitely talked about it though.
He wrote a check recently and listed bribe on the memo area of the check. That's
Who
fun.
wrote a check? Trump?
I don't know. She said he wrote a check recently. She says, my question is, did Trump give Rudy a pardon? He wrote a check recently and enlisted bribe on the memo area of the check. Is he being so bold about openly writing a check is for a bribe because he feels he has a pardon and is safe from prosecution? Nah, I just think if Trump wrote the check and put that on there, it was just to create problems. But
Mm. I don't think Trump sent Rudy any money, or not very much for his legal fees.
no, forget about it.
Right.
Okay. Sylvia, will the Dems finally get the speakership of the House?
Mm.
Well, Michael Moore thinks
I think there's actually a chance that Jeffries could get it. Like I said, the energy doesn't feel super clear right now.
I like
I feel,
Jeffries.
I do too. I think he'll be a great speaker whenever he gets in.
The thing that bothers me about some of the Republicans are they're so anti-gay and they were
Mm,
so anti-gay marriage, but yet they let Santos in their party and they suck up to him. McCarthy does because he wants his vote.
mm.
Yet Santos is gay. I mean, they're such hypocrites.
It was so funny. I was watching I don't remember what I was watching, but like their first day in Congress, all of the media was just swarming and like harassing Santos as he was walking down the halls. It was so funny. Like they were just non-relenting on him. And then he was just sitting all by himself.
How
So
do
I
you
don't even think a lot of people in the Republican Party care for him.
how do you know when Santos is lying?
How?
He opens his mouth. There's that laugh again. All right, I gotta let that go.
You're
Maybe
fine.
just one or two more digs.
All right.
All right. Karen Doherty, the dynamic duo.
Thank you.
Always look forward to all your readings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Both of you are spot on. Thank you. Senate is having a battle electing the next Speaker of the House. Absolutely, absolutely right. They do not want McCarthy at all, she says. What are your guides and angels telling you who will be the one elected to replace Pelosi? Oh, I think they did. It was Jeffries, wasn't it?
Yeah. And if they meant the House, I haven't seen really clearly who is going to be actually the speaker, because I think that there could be a couple options still.
And
I don't
Deanne,
think that is completely set in stone.
I don't think so either. Deanne asked again, will Santos be made or ashamed to step down since he lied about 100% of what was on his resume? She touched on something that I'll touch on. What do you see happening for him? Not sure if he has any shame. No, he doesn't have any shame. He's a sociopath. He doesn't have a moral compass. But he did lie when he filled out some kind of report or something you have to fill out, I think, to be
To run.
yeah,
Mhm.
disclosure. He did
Okay.
disclosure form. He lied about that, and that is a federal crime.
I feel investigations in the United States along with Brazil, and I do think he will be extradited to Brazil as well. I feel like
But
I
I see
just feel
them
like he
indicted
doesn't
here.
necessarily fit in with the Republican Party. I feel like he feels somewhat isolated from it. Nobody wants anything to do with him.
I see him indicted here
Yeah.
because he lied on that. I think there was an application. It's not an application, it's disclosure form or something.
Mm.
But it's a federal form, and it is a crime.
Something about money he gets in trouble from too.
Yep. And it's a crime to lie on that. And he lied on it. And everybody's wondering where he got all that money. He was rich all of a sudden. And before that, he couldn't even pay his rent.
Mm.
Well, he was receiving dark money, that's for sure.
Yeah, more to come out about that.
Oh yeah. That's
Mhm.
gonna be full disclosure.
A lot of Republicans getting in trouble for dark money and dark foreign money that they've taken too, I feel, in this year.
Oh, he's gonna be one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Nivra, hi Mel and Kevin. I'm wondering what kind of weather we may be looking at in Arkansas in 2023.
Arkansas.
Hot, 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 more hot than normal heat wave.
I feel flooding in there too, like a lot of rain.
I was just gonna say that lots of rain as well. They can still be hot and rainy. A lot
Like
of
it feels just like
tornadoes.
very swampy too. Like, is there a lot of swamps in Arkansas? I've never been down there.
A lot of bayous or
I
bayous
feel
are
like a lot of flooding.
that's what I think.
I think some storms
I think
probably.
the bayous are gonna some people call them creeks, some people call them bayous. I
Mm,
think they're gonna overflow their banks and
yeah,
a lot of flooding. A lot of tornadoes coming too in the south.
yeah.
And even a lot here in Illinois. That's why I have a basement. I was in a tornado once and I always
Oh, I bet you that was so
oh,
traumatic.
it was 1974 and my mother lived in an apartment building and this was in Kentucky and there were no
Uh-huh.
basements and it hit
You
right
had to go in
across
the
the street.
bathtub.
Oh, it was frightening. Ever since then, I'm like, nope.
And make sure I have a basement.
You hear that warning go off on your phone, take cover, or there's a tornado warning. I get the dog, I put a leash on her, I take her in the basement. Gary laughs, I take water down there. He goes, what are you doing, camping out? I go, well, the lights go out. We got the lantern down there.
Right.
Got water, we got dog food, and we've got the dog.
Good. Right.
Anyway, okay. ET phone home. I love that one.
Oh
But
yeah,
the
I like
first time I
that.
ever said I said it wrong. I said ET phone. I'm like, what?
Oh,
ET phone home.
I like that.
Okay. It's spelled like E period T period phone PHONHOM. ET phone home. That's cute.
Mm.
Hello, dynamic duo. A recent report came out on the most gerrymandered state, Wisconsin. Will that change in the next 2 years? It will change in the next 3 to 4 years. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I felt yes, definitely. I wasn't getting a time. And everybody's just wanting to boost our ego with this dynamic duo today. Lots of love out there for us.
Lots of
Thank you.
yeah, I know. Okay. Olinda Lee says, Happy New Year, Mel and Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you.
My question for you both is, do your guides show or tell you what the big event in March will be? I'm not feeling anything on it.
I feel like there's a couple things. March does feel like a big month to me, I'll just say. I feel like that might be when indictments for January 6th and the Congress people start to come in. But I also feel like that might be a month with things changing in Ukraine as well, and Putin.
They say quite a few psychic mediums say their guides predict a major breakthrough of some kind of March of 2023. Maybe it's something with the house. I'm just,
Yeah.
but that was just me guessing. I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah. March, I would agree, though. I feel like something big is happening in March. There's going to be a lot of big things that happen this year from now till the end of the year.
Linda Aragon says, readers, myself among them, are getting Epstein still alive. What are your thoughts? I'm picking up he's deceased.
Yeah, I don't think he's still alive.
Only because I know of a lawyer who I can't disclose.
Yeah.
Who knows of the case, and Epstein is deceased.
Yeah, I'm feeling he's gone too. I think there were obviously some shady things around his passing, but I'll leave it at that. For entertainment purposes only.
Correct. Richie said, yeah, well, the person I know thinks there's suspicious stuff around his
Okay.
house.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
That's why I just said I can't disclose anymore. Okay, Richie. Hi, Mel and Kevin. Well, all of the names in Jeffrey Epstein's, I think it's Epstein. In German, it'd be Epstein. In English, they say Epstein. And Jeffrey Epstein's black book ever be told to the public? Yeah, after it goes to the DOJ.
I don't know about everybody, but I do see some stuff coming out, some names coming out.
Some, but not all.
I don't think all, but I think a good amount.
Okay. Leonore Bryant wants to know, Happy New Year, Mel and Kevin. Will the VA have more funds coming in 2023 to help veterans, especially female veterans? Love and light to you both. Well, if we get a new House Speaker and they can vote on a budget, yes.
I feel yes. It feels like it's more towards the end of the year, though.
Okay. Hilana, will Hakeem Jeffries become Speaker of the House?
I eventually he will. He might even get in now. Like I said, I don't think it's fully decided. And Republicans really have to be careful with this obstructionist, because I feel intuitively, if they want to, vote present or something like that, they could very easily mess up and get Hakeem Jeffries elected. But he will be Speaker eventually.
At some point, Hakeem will be Speaker, but it's funny. I said that I saw a person of color being a Speaker of the House. I thought it would be female, but no, I don't think Hakeem is transgender. That's not what I'm saying. But
I do feel it doesn't feel like it's too far off. Maybe like in the next 5 to 10 years, another female speaker, maybe closer to the 10 years mark.
Yeah, I feel it, but at some point Hakeem will be. I like Hakeem, actually.
Yeah.
All right, Lindy, marvelous Mel and cuteness Kevin.
No, thanks.
I'm too old to be cute. Happy New Year, or too old to be. Oh, there's that laugh of mine again, darn it.
Oh, you're fine, Mel.
Will the sadistic Russian prisons and their workers ever see punishment for what they have done to the Ukrainian POWs? That's all.
Yes.
That's all going to come to the forefront. I got chills going up and down. And my psychic light bulb is saying yes. That's a really good question.
I got a yes, but it feels like it's after Putin is gone and out of the picture. I don't feel, but I do feel a lot of people that were going along with this getting in trouble, like international court hearings.
She says, thanks for all you do and sharing your gifts with us.
Thank you.
Mel and Kevin. Now that Jack Smith is back in the States, Should I get my popcorn popping?
Popping.
Absolutely.
Get it popping.
Or drink Coke and watch the movie, because buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be a wild ride.
I think even in January, I think indictments are coming very, very soon. Get the bubbly ready.
Believe it or not, I don't like popcorn.
No, I'll stick with the bubbly.
I used to work in a movie theater when I was a kid.
Mm.
I was about 16, and they would put you in a room on Saturday. And what do you do all day long? Pop popcorn. You were
Oh,
stuck.
yeah.
What did you eat? Popcorn. And I look at popcorn and I'm like, nope.
I like popcorn. I don't like it getting stuck in my teeth. That drives me.
I was just thinking that. You're reading my mind. Yeah, I had to go to the dentist once because they had an abscess and they went in there. It was a popcorn kernel. I'm like,
Oh, wow.
oh,
Yeah, that's my only complaint with
this
popcorn. I
is
like
ginger ale, by the way. It's not whiskey.
no whiskey.
No, it's ginger ale. Hear the ice tinkling in the glass. It's my ginger ale, you all. All right. Sage burner. I like that. Sage burner. That's cool. Will the residents of Florida have to pay on the $1 billion Disney bond debt that the Satan made active by his fight with them? Yeah, and that's going to put him in huge disfavor.
Oh, you feel yes. I feel like he might renegotiate or do something. I feel like that was more of a threat.
I'm sorry, say again.
I feel like that was more of a threat, not to say that he didn't put action in it, but I feel like there might be him working with them to or getting rid of that. I heard no, but
Okay. Well,
we'll agree to disagree. It happens sometimes.
right. A Park, what's up with New York Governor Kathy Holcomb or whatever, nominating hardcore conservative Judge Hector LaSalle to the state Supreme Court? She's gotten a lot of pushback from other Democrats. So will the nomination be withdrawn? I don't feel she's going to withdraw that nomination.
Mm. Yeah, and then that's kind of the first that I've heard about it too.
Yeah,
Well, I do think that people are really mad about the situation, but yeah, I'm not feeling her withdrawing it. I don't know the circumstances behind
the
it.
first
Though.
I've heard about it. So
Yeah.
okay. MC, will Jeffries get voted in as the House Speaker? We just answered that.
Mm.
Okay. Patty G, why are they still bragging about McCarthy being Speaker of the House? All this is ridiculous. I don't know who's bragging about it. I don't know what they're saying, but
McCarthy's a glutton for punishment. You know how embarrassed he is
McCarthy,
after all these failed votes.
for all you all who want to know about karma,
Right.
After the insurrection, McCarthy went on and talked about how bad it was and this and that and yada, yada, yada. But then the next thing you know, he's at Mar-a-Lago kissing up to Trump.
Right.
So this is called karma.
Yeah. Mel, the orbs are crazy around you. I just saw 2 of them.
Wow.
One was a huge one too. The orbs are loving you today.
They're in full gear. And I don't have a light show going on, I promise.
No, they're orbs. I keep seeing them and they keep going different directions. So it's not like a fan or a light or anything.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Yep, karma is you know what.
Yeah.
Patty G said, yeah, Mel and Kevin are back together again. Yes. Okay. Ursula White. Happy New Year greetings. Do you foresee legislation that would force utility companies to have security around electric substations? Absolutely.
Mm. Yeah, I'm getting a yes as well.
Because it shows our vulnerability.
Mm.
What happened? What is the behind the attacks? I think some of them just wanted to create problems. I think some were ultra rightist,
Mm. And I worry about Russia and our adversaries attacking our infrastructure as well.
Well, yeah, it shows our vulnerability. Well,
I just got a hit. I think that there is going to be something from a foreign government that happens. It doesn't feel like it's too far out in the springtime, maybe, that really kind of exposes how we need to put a lot more resources and money into that.
Will these domestic terrorists be caught? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
I just want to say something real quick about, the infrastructure bill. There was that bridge going from Covington to crossing into Kentucky.
Yeah.
Into Kentucky. And for years, it was political quagmire. Nobody wanted to touch it, couldn't get it fixed. Biden was the one with the infrastructure bill that finally,
Even when he was campaigning, he said he was going to fix the bridge.
and he's going to.
Yeah.
And I think, and, here's what I've been saying. And I think what my guys were showing me is when they show me Democrats and Republicans working together, he and Mitch McConnell, as much as I just like Moscow Mitch, but he was there too with Biden, to talk about that they got this done. And
the funny thing is that he's a total hypocrite because I don't believe he even voted for it.
he didn't, but that's okay.
But taking credit for Biden's accomplishments, but I think Biden's the better person and wants to show that he can work across the aisle to get bipartisan.
Well, and Biden also said in Biden terms, Mitch is my friend. I've known him for years, so it's okay for him to be friends. Okay. Whatever, yoga Malam or something. So what's going on with the Melania? I don't know. Why don't we hear about her? I don't know. What does she know? Will they subpoena her? No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm not really feeling too much. I do feel maybe some looking into Trump's taxes with her being involved with that, but eventually I don't see any prosecution of Melania. And I do think her and Barron will go over to Europe in the coming years. I do see her separating with Donald Trump and getting a new husband. It feels like Italy to me.
I don't think Europe wants her.
No. Well, we don't want her either. So
where's my case?
Right.
How about Antarctica? Okay. Happy New Year to you and Kevin. Excited to see you both later today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Julie Blank wants to know if the IRS is going to ever go after Trump. Oh yeah, they're going to investigate him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Patty G, will Trump beat McCarthy on the Speaker of the House? No.
I don't see Trump as Speaker of the House.
Be Speaker of the House. He could, but I mean, if somebody's under indictment, I don't think so.
No, okay. And even the Republican Party is just ready to move on from Trump. Yeah. He got one vote for Matt Gaetz, I think, a couple of times he was nominated today. So
Bluebird says, good morning, Mel and Kevin. Will George Santos be extradited to Brazil to pay for his crimes there? He committed felonies in the US as well. I see him having to stand trial in Brazil after they're done with him here. Okay. Nessie 29. This is a good one. Will these Republican shenanigans kill them for 2024? And will we take back the House and take more of the Senate?
The Senate is going to be close. I do think that we are going to keep the House and the Senate in 2024, but the Senate map really is not favorable to Democrats.
But that's what they said about it this time around too.
Right. Well, I'm just saying some of the states like Ohio and Sherrod Brown's up, and there's a couple really, I think Montana, there's a couple like really Republican states that have Democrats, which I think might be tough on a presidential election year. But as of right now, I feel like we're going to definitely make gains in the House. The Senate feels like it's going to be close though, but I think we're going to still keep it.
I feel like we'll take the House back and keep the Senate, because with what's going on in the Republican Party,
yeah,
to nominate Liz Cheney to be the Speaker of the House, even though I don't like her.
I feel like it's a male though. I don't feel like a woman.
So do I. Okay. Patty G says, why doesn't McCarthy step down? He's getting to be ignorant, pathetic, and stupid. Getting to be. That's my response.
I feel like that has always been his dream, to be Speaker of the House. So I don't think he's going to give up on that dream. I think other Republicans will finally start to give up on him because they'll realize he doesn't have the votes to get
in. Kathy Teschner wants to know if Hakeem will be Speaker of the House. We already talked about that. Kat with 3T01 says, I was waiting to see what you both think about the circus, aka the House Speaker. I think we should sell tickets to that circus, right?
It's pretty entertaining. I've been watching it all day today.
Loopy Love wants to know how long will McCarthy keep trying to win to be the Speaker of the House? I see him walking out doing the walk of shame.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I just saw. So red ice. Yay, Mel and Kev. Okay. Question. Is this Idaho suspect the killer of the students? If so, is this the first killing spree? Or is it going to be linked to more victims? Okay. Normally I don't answer about a crime like that unless I'm called in, but I will say this much. The person that the police have in custody as a person of interest, I feel comfortable that they have the correct person, and
I
I'll leave
think
it that way.
Yeah, I agree.
Christine Bermel. Hi, Christine. Christine came to Croatia with us this summer.
Oh, nice.
Hi, Chris. She takes great pictures. Oh my goodness, her pictures are
I should
phenomenal.
like to do photography.
I wanted her to come to Africa to take pictures, but I've still got one opening to Africa. Anyway,
There you go.
Hi, Mel and Kevin. Can you see if George Santos will be sworn in? Also, is he an American citizen? Yeah, he's an American citizen.
He's going to be sworn in, unfortunately.
But I don't see him. I don't see him. I do not see him in the House. I don't see him. If he's sworn in, I don't see him serving out his
I
term.
don't think it will be very long, but I think he'll get sworn in.
Okay. Linda Brooke Benson, Happy New Year. Wondering if he who shall not be named will get his just desserts. If you're talking about something with an orange head that looks like a
Yes.
Cheeto, the answer is yes.
Yes.
All right.
That was my first thought of who they were referring to. Yes, yes. Not in, I think, the way that some of us would really get pleasure in it, because I've never felt like jail time for Trump. But I also don't think he has really a long life left too. But all he cares about is money and power, and that's all going to crumble in front of his very own
That's
eyes.
going to bite him in the rear end.
Mhm.
I get it. I guess his tax records are showing he's not as rich as he let everybody think.
Yeah, I think he was very embarrassed of the tax records coming out.
Will we see peace in Ukraine? Yes.
Yeah.
Any nuclear strikes from Russia? No, I don't see that.
I'm not feeling nuclear either. It's going to be it's so sad what's going on in Ukraine, and it's really going to bring Europe together, I think, after this escalation. This war is over, and just like a long time rebuilding. But I really see Europe coming in and helping with that, and really coming together.
I agree.
Mhm.
Rose Blum Pensario says Happy New Year. Teresa Jackson, will Social Security recipients get the $200 a month increase that Biden has promised? Yeah, at some point, if they can get the House to get, those House Republicans, they don't want Medicare to pay for hearing aids or glasses or
Right. I don't
They
think there's anything they can do about that right now, though.
nothing.
Yeah.
So I see more money coming.
I get it. Yes.
They vote for themselves a raise. Maybe, people should start saying, wait a minute, we don't want them to get a raise.
Right.
Happens, right? Gail Langston says, Happy New Year, Kevin and Mel. I hope things are much better for you now and your office is back in working order. I think we're talking about you.
Mhm.
And no questions, wishing you a fabulous 2023.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Maggie Hu, Happy New Year. So while our eyes are on Russia and its nukes, North Korea wants to be building up nukes exponentially, and it's scary.
Mm.
All the while, their people starve. So Russia has some sane people who can say no to Putin. But what about Kim Jong-un? Is there anyone over there who can say no to him? Should we worry about this even crazier than Putin guy? Is there anything? Okay, is there any help for North Koreans? Well, a lot of the North Koreans like him. They kind of think he's a god, but I don't see him in power long either. I don't know if somebody kills him or takes him out.
I've felt for a while, and I've read on this, I feel like his sister's in charge. I don't feel like he is alive. I feel like that's a body double.
I don't know, but whoever's supposedly him, I see.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle with North Korea. I mean, it's very sad. I feel like those people are just so brainwashed, they're so brainwashed in it, and it's all about fear. They can't say anything, or they'll kill them. So I do agree with you. They do kind of almost view them as gods in a sense. I think we are going. I definitely feel like escalation between like the U.S. and North Korea. It feels more towards like the middle end of the year. I think it's going to be a while before there's changes in that country.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, Corey Ray, I'm gonna just give this, we got time for a couple more, then we'll call it
Yeah.
quick. Just a capsule preview. Uh, she wants to know how many times the Fed will raise the interest rates in 2023. And I see just a couple more times, and
I
then
thought too.
I think they'll bring the rates down because they wanted to stop the inflation in the housing market because they didn't want another crash like in 2008. And it's working, and it'll bring
Yeah.
prices down. So I see prices coming down within the next couple years on
I
houses.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I feel like I agree a couple more. I was feeling two, maybe three more increases, but it's really to kind of slow down the market because that's what's driving up that inflation for, the goods and for the housing market. It feels better like going into summertime of 2023.
Okay. Oh,
You got a good one?
yeah, Lita's gonna have to hear my constant
Oh
irritating laugh
no.
on this one. I love this. Is there a blue pill for Kevin McCarthy's electile dysfunction?
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, it's called Valium. I love that.
Who wrote that one?
Deb Z, Deb, that is.
FC always cracks me up.
She goes, is there a blue pill for Kevin McCarthy's electile dysfunction? Not a typo.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin McCarthy's a typo. And I'm not talking about the blood. All right.
Right.
Kimberly Austin, this is our last one.
All right.
You see President Biden and Vice President Harris being safe in the next year or two. I worry for their safety.
I feel like they are very much protected, and I definitely feel like they take extra measures because the times that we're living in right now are so divisive, and there's so many crazies and domestic terrorism out there. But I do feel that they're going to be safe.
I'm sure there are threats every day, but I feel them safe. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of protection and security.
Phoenix Rise Renee. Hi, Kevin and Mel. Happy New Year. Hi,
Well,
Phoenix.
Happy New Year.
I wonder if McCarthy will ever take a risk and threaten the GOP with a plurality vote, which then puts them at risk of Hakeem Jeffries winning the majority of votes, which would give the Dems the House.
Mm.
See you later on the live. We're not live. This is recorded, but
I don't feel like he would take that chance.
he won't.
Mm-mm.
If he does, he's more stupid than I thought.
But I do feel, I don't know what a plurality vote is. If that's just having everybody vote or like cast their vote, like and whoever wins the most wins. If that's what they mean by it, I don't think he would take that chance. But I do feel like he may try to have Republicans vote present to kind of shift that and put pressure on them. But like I told you, he has to be careful because I do feel like they could very easily mess up and get Hakeem Jeffries elected.
But a lot of the Republicans won't just vote present. A few did, but
Right.
won't because they'll know what McCarthy's up to.
Yeah.
Oh, this is sad. Okay, Cindy Dimmitt. Oh, Cindy, I'm sorry. I had my fur baby put down yesterday. Does
Mm.
she forgive me? This was a decision that took over a year to make. She was very sick. Okay,
Mm.
Cindy, when I had to put my beagle down, I grappled with the same thing. And then my guides told me it was absolutely the right decision. And that's what I'm saying for you. It was absolutely the right decision. And
Yeah.
your fur baby, you probably want your fur baby to forgive you, but your fur baby is saying there's nothing to forgive.
Mm.
Your fur baby was ready,
Yeah.
and you absolutely made the right choice.
And I'm getting goosebumps as you say that too. So yeah, and it's so sad too because especially when our my dogs are like my children almost. That's how I view them, and so it's really something that you have to struggle with. But it's all they know is love, and they know that the reason why you're doing it is because you don't want to see them suffer. And and our dogs, like our loved ones, are always with us. So yeah, they forgive you as they cross over.
Cindy, the fur baby that that you help to free it from its
Mm.
misery is going to send you another fur baby. That's what I just.
Oh,
So I'm so sorry for the loss. It's
yeah,
hard.
that's tough.
Everybody, please send healing thoughts and prayers to Cindy.
Mm.
All right. So one more. Barbara Ritchie says, "Hey fellas, I don't have a question. Just wanted to say hello from Florida and thank you."
Well, hello, and
Kevin,
you're welcome.
this has been, you're welcome, right? This has been so much fun.
Yes, it's always fun.
We'll be regular again. It was just, Kevin had a flood. I was gone to Hawaii, and what can I
Mm.
say?
Yeah, December really was not the best month. There were some good family moments, but a lot of car issues, basement issues, just the holidays in general, just a lot of stuff.
I was busier than a wallpaper hanger and
Yeah.
everything. It was like, anyway.
Maybe next week we can. I'll see if I can do it on my channel. I'm using my husband's computer right now because, like I said, mine was destroyed in a flood. So depending on if he needs it for anything, if not, we can do something on your channel next week.
Okay. All right. Let me know either
Yeah,
way. And
sounds good.
sooner or later, I'm going to get this StreamYard thing worked out so we can go
Yeah,
live. I kind of like pre-recorded too, because then, I can get
I
questions.
do not. I was trying to do an update video, and I am so critical of myself. If I'm doing a solo pre-recorded, I feel like I can't talk or get all of my points across because of my ADD, and it's so hard for me to focus on everything. And when it's a conversation like me and you, and you have questions asked, it's much easier. But I like the energy from the live. I don't like doing pre-recorded.
Going live is hard for
I
me.
haven't posted anything.
See, that's how I was with going live. I've done live television, but I'm
Yeah,
trying to read the comments in the corners, and I'm trying to. Then it's
it's
like
just so much easier for me. Like it feels like it's like I can relax a little bit. I
it's
don't know.
always easier, I think, to do a collab than to do it on your own, whether you're
Oh
live
yeah,
or
absolutely.
recording. The good thing about the recording is if you kind of get stuck, you can turn it off and then you could kind of resume when
Yeah.
you're live. But that's what I like about live, but it's just hard for me to.
I can't be that perfectionist where I'm deleting 20 videos when I'm live. I'm live and you get all of me and it is what it is. So I
So the
don't know.
OCD can't kick in.
Yeah.
Well, I'm learning to edit, so that might be dangerous for me. Like, okay, so to get a hold of Kevin, what number do they call you on?
You can call or text me at 440-376-4088 or email me at kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com. If you go over to my YouTube channel, I have all of that information in the description box of my videos and on my about section. And I do intuitive readings and tarot card readings along with Reiki energy healing. So, and I'm really excited because I'm finishing my Reiki training. My husband paid for my last class, so I will probably be teaching it come spring or summertime. So that's
Cool. Maybe we
exciting.
can do an online class at some point.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. All right, Kevin, you stay well. Kevin, I'm going to stop the recording. Don't hang up. And namaste, everybody. Happy New Year. Stay safe.
Blessings, everyone. Happy New Year.